Hello and welcome back to my channel. So for today I'm here with a double upload. My first video is still uploading. This is my second video, probably way shorter than that one. This one is a video based on, so you started nail art, you're a beginner, maybe you don't know exactly what you may need, maybe you are looking to see what products work best. I'm 3 months in. This is my going on my third month as far as nail art. So I just want to share my experience with you guys. Maybe show you some products that I use, show you how I started, how I'm doing now, what works best for me, um, and what keeps me motivated, because you have to stay motivated. So these are just products that you will need to begin as a beginner nail artist or whatever. So definitely a nail art palette. That's first on the list. Um, some people may use, like when I started off, honestly, I used a piece of paper and put my paint on there, and I would paint just like that. I didn't do that for long because really these aren't that expensive. Um, but yeah, I started off, I didn't have any of this stuff, honestly. I didn't have any good nail art brushes. I didn't have any swatches to practice on. I had alcohol, but I had 90%. Like things I've just changed in the last 3 months that maybe if I would have started off doing that, I'd be a lot farther, or, yeah, pretty much my artwork, maybe it would have looked a little better at first. And, but yeah, I just want to share, things that work for me. Now, this is for me. I use a nail art palette, inexpensive, off of Amazon. I use 70% alcohol. I know some people use 90 or different percents. This is what works best for me, and you'll figure out what works best for you. But in my opinion, 70% alcohol works just fine for erasing mistakes. And I use that for erasing mistakes when I'm doing nail art. I either used a dapping dish with it in to clean off my brush, because you dip in one color, clean it off, wipe it on a napkin, dip it in another color. You don't want to start mixing colors. That would be bad. And I just bought this. I did not have this at first. This is in my other video, but I got off of Amazon. Um, and I use this with my lint-free wipes that I got off of Amazon. And I use it for bigger mistakes. So I'll just push down on here. It'll get wet, and then I can wipe off and start over again, which I do a lot. But yeah, this has 70% alcohol in it. I use it with my lint-free wipes to clean off big mistakes. Now for small mistakes, I use, and these are the same brush, I use the little baby blender from Nail by Dev and 70% alcohol, and I use this for my small mistakes. So I'll just dip it in my alcohol, or dip it in my alcohol, clean it, dry it off a little bit, not too dry, and then I go in and I erase. Just small spots. Now, if your mistake starts to be too big, then I would just use the lint-free wipe with the alcohol. But if you have, like, say your line just went a little crooked and you just want a tiny, just erase a little tiny bit, then use this. Now, if you start to use this and it starts to smudge, then I just go in with a lint-free wipe, because that happens a lot. Like, if this mistake isn't really quick, just like a swipe or two, then just use the lint-free wipe. Even if you have to, a lot of times I'll fold this up real small and I'll use the corner and I'll just go in with a little bit of alcohol. Again, not too wet, and I'll just erase my mistake like that. Because you don't want it to start smudging. That's a hot mess. I've done that before. So yeah, I have my nail art palettes, which obviously are used for the gel polish to go on. Again, in my other video, I tell you what I use. I use Beetles gel polish. I use Valentino gel polish. I have a couple Vitro, again, from that nail art class. So these are just examples of the brands. I also have one Bio Seaweed gel polish in Bumblebee. Let me show you. I'm missing Vitro. Okay. So yeah, these are the different brands I use. I hope I have all of these in the Vitro. Ooh, that's this. It came with the nail art class again. So it's pretty expensive, but it does work good. I want to invest in some more, but right now I need to use up what I have. I got this from a nail art class too. Actually, she was really nice. And she let me try this. And honestly, this black is so good from them that I could use this as a character outline, like a black outline for characters. Works really well. I want to buy more of theirs. Um, this is the only bio seaweed I have. And I think they're based in Canada, so I couldn't buy it off their site, but I got it off like a third party. I think it was Skyline or something like that. But this is really good for like if you're making like skin tones. That's why I bought it. Nail by Dev bought it up in one of her lives, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that, and it works really well. Like as far as skin tones. Um, then I have Beetles and Valentino. I use mostly Beetles because I have a whole bunch of those. Valentino's good too, just a little more expensive than Beetles. So I only have like maybe 10 of these Valentinos, but Valentino's really, really good. I have mostly like black, white, red, green, yellow, those kind of colors in Valentino. Beetles, I have almost every color. Um, so you're starting off, you're a beginner, you're like, what do I need? You have your nail art palette now. You have your alcohol, whatever percent. You have a dapping dish, which I got off of Amazon also. You have your nail art brushes. Like I said, little baby blender from Nail by Dev, used for erasing. You can use this also for like, say you want to do clouds, or like with her, since I made her look a little distressed in the neck, you can use that for like blending, or blending 3D art. Um, this is her, I want to say hella cute liner. And I used to use this at first for everything, like outlining, coloring in, everything. I didn't use any other brush. Um, I hope you can see that it has a long tip. So if you're starting off, you could use this one. It's really good. I just tried all of her brushes pretty much, and I tend to like a different one now better. But this is still good. Like I said, I don't really use that one much anymore. I did at first. I used it for everything. And then next, this is her, I want to say this is her detailer brush. Yeah, as you can see, that point to that one is super, super small. And after a while, I was using this for everything. Outlining, little details, big details, coloring in. I was using this for everything. But I tried more of her brushes, and I started to like this one the best. I use this for everything now. This is her new 9mm liner brush. And as you can see, that one's kind of like in the middle. It's not too short, but it's not too long. And it works perfect for me. And that's for me. It could be different for you. You could do better with the longer brush. Let me show you the difference between these lengths. You see, long, a little longer, and then really short. So it all depends on what works best for you. Really. This is her ombre brush. I know it has paint on it. I have paint everywhere, but I honestly haven't used this for anything. It's supposed to be good for ombre effect. I don't even think I've done ombre yet, but I'm excited to try it then. I'm sure it's good. This is her 3D brush. I use this for, I haven't done clouds yet, but you can use it for clouds. You can use it for blending. You know what, I'm lying. I use it on Sally. The like distressed color in her face. Like I just blended it in like that, like different shades of color. So works well for blending too. This is just another one of those longer brushes, like the hella cute liner that I said I used that first. This is another brush by her, the detailer brush, really small. I used to use this a good bit too. I don't really use it. I feel like once I find a brush I really like, I just use it for everything. And really I should incorporate different brushes. Like this would be good probably for like eyelashes and eyebrows. But I literally find one brush I like and I stick to it the whole character. Only time I use a different one is usually the dotting tool, which is for like eyeballs that need to be perfect, or pupils that need to be perfect, or I think I used it for his hair, cousin Skeeter's hair, to make the afro effect. But And this is just some of my work over the last couple months. She was one of my first ones. And then my most recent would probably be Corpse Bride, Dexter, Jack Skellington, The Grinch. All these are newer. Oh my god. They're newer art that I've done. So just practice, practice, practice. Also, these are nail swatches from Amazon. Buy you some of those. They're inexpensive. They give you a thing to practice on as far as nail art. And I think they're used for like swatching different colors, like to show your clientele or whatever. But I use them to practice nail art on. They work really well. So yeah, if you're so then these are the Limp free wipes, which I showed in my other video that I used with the alcohol. My nail dryer is Kiara Sky, her newest one, their newest one. So yeah, so you have your nail polish. That's check. Nail polish. You could use not Bumblebee, Beetles to start off with because they're inexpensive. So check that off. Get your nail polish. Get your nail art brush. You don't have to use Nail by Deb. I do. But it's really not that, she's really not that expensive when it comes to her brushes. So get you even one. Start off with one. Like I said, I use her newest one for everything. Outlining, coloring in, shading, all that. You don't have to go and buy a whole bunch at first. Or just buy her one of her brushes and then a little baby blender to erase. Get your nail polish, nail palette, get a nail art brush or two, get your alcohol so you can erase, get a dapping dish, and get your nail swatches, and you're set. So that's what? Nail polish, nail art brushes, alcohol, nail swatches, and a dryer. Sorry, 5 things you need. Polish, palette, nail art brushes, swatches, alcohol, and a dryer. I need to learn how to count. That's 6. So yeah, so nail art palette, nail brushes, alcohol, your dapping dish, your dryer, and your swatches, and start. Stay motivated. Keep your old nail art. Keep them. So you see how much you're progressing, so you're not hard on yourself. Make sure you keep them so you can see how much, like, okay, I need to work on this, or I need to work on that. I need to work on blending my colors better. I need to work on outlining, so you know where you need to tighten up at. Practice on yourself. Practice on your nail swatches. Practice on a friend. Outlining can tend to be hard, so keep practicing outlining, and don't be hard on yourself if you don't get a character right at first. Start with the head first if that's works for you, or start with the outlining. Some characters I start with outlining first. Some characters I just start discreetly with their head. Look at different characters and see what works best for you as far as nail polishes go. Maybe you like Beetles, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to try Valentino, a more expensive brand. Invest in some nail art brushes. I'm trying different brands now. I have Nail by Deb, but I just bought Fox acrylic brushes. So I want to try hers out. I'm sure they'll be good. But yeah, make sure you have all your stuff and just start and stay motivated and look at the characters as though they're all shapes. Like everything's a shape in a character. For instance, let me see. Dexter. Well, you know what? A Powerpuff Girl, which I need to try again because I was starting off and I didn't let her dry and now she looks smudgy. That's a common mistake too. Make sure everything's dry. Dry it. Look at the bottle and see what it says and dry it for that amount of time. And maybe if you want, even double it. Because look what I did. I smudged her outlining. But yeah, her head, you look right at it, it's a circle. You look at her eyes, they're half circles. So half and half. 2 big C's, even if you want to look at it. and then a little white C, a little pink C, and then you have circles, you know. Look at it all that shape, follow the lines. And if you mess up, try again, don't give up. Um, but yeah, just get your nail polish, your gel. Oh, also I use these, and I said this in the other video, sorry. These came from Amazon. They're little pods of gel color, and I think it came like 36 colors. Now, they tend to be a mess because I opened them wrong, but these work well too. You don't have to spend a lot. I think it was 36 for like 30 bucks or 20 something bucks. That's what I started off with. I also have the liner gel from Nail by Dev that I use to outline black lines on characters. I have a white gel, liner gel too. Don't really use as much, but yeah. Get started. Start with me. I'm 3 months in. Get started. Buy you some nail art brushes. Buy you a palette. Buy you some alcohol, dap and dish, some nail swatches, and a dryer, and get started. You can do it. So yeah, like, follow, subscribe for more. Hopefully I can do a nail art video today too. That'll be 3 videos. But yeah, thank you for tuning in.